Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by H&R Block, specifically Lisa Atkins and her team with H&R Block at Callahan Road in Knoxville. Lisa's been doing taxes for years. She's been doing my taxes for years. Chuck, she even did your taxes, did she not?
Actually, I have an appointment with Lisa tomorrow at noon.
So you know she can, if she can handle Chuck's taxes from his money coming in from all kinds of different areas, she can handle yours. She does a tremendous job. Simple, quick, calm, friendly, calm being the key word. They do a great job at H&R Block. You saw the number to call. I also want to welcome in another of the new sponsors you'll be seeing over the coming weeks and months on our show, East Tennessee Personal Care Service, right there. Personalized care for specific needs, differing levels of care from Alzheimer's to people who need minor assistances. East Tennessee Personal Care Service, the folks to call from. Again, you'll be hearing from them over the next few months. We told you we're going to be rolling out some new folks. This is the next new group on the show. We appreciate them for joining us and welcome them to the family. Chuck, head on over to the WIPE board now. Back with Don DeVoe, Mark Pankratz. I want to quickly look at the SEC tournament bracket as it lays out for Tennessee and get your take on, I think we've already touched on a little bit, what's the best scenario for Tennessee here? Do you want to play a lower seeded team? Do you want somebody to upset Arkansas so you've got a better chance of sliding in, getting a win? Or would it be better to face Arkansas with their higher RPI and try and get past them? We could take a look here at the board. There we go. Mark and Don, your thoughts. What's the best case scenario for Tennessee in that first game?
Well, I think the way we're playing, we'd rather play Arkansas and get that good win against a better opponent as opposed to the opportunity to lose against a worse ranked team, because that would be detrimental to your chances to make the tournament.
Okay.
Matchups are really critical this time of the year. You know, this is a tough matchup for Tennessee because in all likelihood it's going to be Arkansas, and they play wild basketball, and when they're shooting and running, they are a very dangerous team. This is a real tough game if Tennessee has to play Arkansas.
Yeah, and the funny thing there is you've got one of the fastest teams in the country against one of the slowest teams. You look at Tennessee tempo-wise, offensive efficiency. We talked about that earlier in the year. Ken Pomeroy, who's a numbers guru, he says Tennessee's one of the 20 most efficient offenses in the nation. They're also one of the slowest offenses, which is why it looks kind of up and down, blah. But they're incredibly efficient. Arkansas, inefficient, but man, they fly up and down the court the way that Tennessee did under Bruce Pearl's first 3 years, even more so in terms of their speed. So it will be a difference in style. Chuck, your thoughts on who Tennessee would rather play in that first game, Auburn, South Carolina, or Arkansas?
Well, I mean, you might as well raise the level. I mean, I think it needs to be Arkansas. But the thing you worry about, John, is Tennessee's history of one and done in the SEC. And that would be a tough matchup. But go ahead and play somebody that you may be competing with for a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Go ahead and ride Arkansas, though, above Tennessee there.
Although we've lost to A&M twice, so maybe we don't want to play A&M.
Well, and one thing about this bracket, guys, look at how many teams you have lost to in the top half. That's why it was so important, I think, to try and get that 3 seed.
Well, and the thing is, if Tennessee had beaten Texas A&M either time, they would be in the 3 seed where Georgia sits, and they would be in the same side of the bracket with Kentucky instead of with Florida, and Kentucky is 100 times more beatable than Florida. Congratulations to Florida, by the way, 18-0 in league play. Yes, the SEC is kind of so-so this year, but 18-0 is impressive no matter when you do it.
And with their games at the end of the season, you know, Florida had to go on the road and win some tough ones at Vanderbilt, here, and of course in Lexington. Kudos to the coaching staff down there and to the players. That's a major accomplishment to go through any major conference unbeaten.
Yeah, and I think they go in head and shoulders. I mean, you go 18-0. Nobody else in the SEC went better than 12-6. They're clearly the definitive favorite. Now we know that tournaments, anything can happen, but boy, Florida in my book is a strong favorite to win this tournament. If you're Tennessee and you get to Florida, Florida's beaten you twice this year. Tennessee's playing well. How would you feel about a Tennessee-Florida matchup at this point?
Well, I would take it a step further on Florida, not only chances to win this tournament, but NCAA tournament as far as they're one of the elite teams in the country. Ultimately, what makes this Florida team so special is they're all buy-in and they all fit a mold and work together. So where some teams where you would think when you get to that SEC tournament, they've had such success, they're not going to be ready to go, and so you might be able to knock off a #1 seed that way. I don't see this Florida team not coming in hungry to win a championship. So do I think we can beat them? Yes, because we'll be loosey and goosey. We'll be in the tournament. We'll be ready to go. But that, man, it'd be a big mountain to climb.
All right, Don DeVoe, you were the last Tennessee coach to win an SEC tournament. That was the year the tournament came back in 1979. When you were on Bruce Pearl's staff, you made it to the finals and lost to Mississippi State in 2010 or 2011. What do you have to do, very quickly, got about 30 seconds here, what do you have to do to prepare a team to play night after night after night? You've played, so far you've gotten on a roll and you've done, okay, we play Wednesday, we play Saturday, we play Wednesday, we play Saturday. Everybody's having to do it, but how do you prep a team to get ready to play day after day after day?
Well, I think from a coaching standpoint, X's and O's wise, when you're preparing because you don't know who you're going to play yet, you got to take a best guess. You don't let the kids know who you're preparing for, but you take what Arkansas does really well and you work on that. But ultimately with Coach Martin, it's a little bit different. He's going to prepare how he prepares no matter what, no matter really who they're playing. He might do a little bit that A&M, if they've done something to give him problems, he'll work on that.
No. I think more than anything else, the team needs just to be focused and to stay fresh. You know, you don't want to wear them down at this time of the year because it's going to be real tough. When you play Arkansas in all likelihood. But fresh legs. Keeping the team focused, not thinking about who you might play later on. That's a real trap. It's a trap game anytime you start thinking down the road because you've got to win the game that you're going to have to play.
Okay. I do want to point out one good thing that those of us in the media are happy about, and I bet a lot of fans are happy about it too. Tennessee is going to be tipping off at about 3:30 on Friday. They did not get the late game, and it seems like the last few years they get stuck in that late slot. That won't be the case this year. They get an afternoon game. All right, when we come back, we're going to have more on what has this win streak done for Cuonzo Martin in terms of fan support, in terms of Dave Hart's mind. We'll talk about how far Tennessee will go in this tournament. But next, I want you to indulge me an absolutely amazing story. We're just going to take 2 or 3 minutes that involves Don DeVoe, Bobby Knight, Bill Parcells, Arthur Ashe, and Norman Schwarzkopf. If that's not tease enough for you, I don't know what more could be. Come on back on the Sports Source.
You are watching East Tennessee's first and only year-round sports talk show on television.